This press conference started here in council chambers about 10 o'clock this morning. And like you said, that protest last night against the mayor not speaking out. Well, funny story here. This was called by the mayor, this press conference, but the press today was not allowed to ask any questions. We instead had to chase him down to his office just to get some information about why he's deciding to speak out now. This is the last year of 2015, and the police chief, the interim police chief, Dennis Mook, spoke today. He said the past 6 months, especially here in Portsmouth, have been 6 months, very violent 6 months. And again, the mayor not really commenting on that. 27 homicides in the city of Portsmouth this year. There were just 11 last year. But the interim police chief did tell me before the press conference started that, you know, that's not really out of the ordinary. He's been in this business for 40 plus years, and he says that crime really goes in trends, it goes in waves. But he says that, you know, when he's asked at the grocery store about from citizens in the community, how can we solve this crime problem? He says it's going to take more than the police. It's going to take more than the mayor. They can't simply wave a wand. It's going to take everybody asking themselves, what can they do? Take a listen.
We all have to look out for each other. It's not anybody else's job but each one of us. The men and women of the Portsmouth Police Department are doing an outstanding job in carrying out their responsibilities within their statutory authority, their expertise and resources. However, we have to realize we will never arrest our way out of crime and violence. Remember the war on drugs that was national and the billions of dollars? You know, there are more drugs available today than ever. We can't.
And that is interim police chief Dennis Mook. Dennis Mook spoke for a good while. Both him and the mayor delivered prepared remarks. These were scripted speeches. They didn't really go off of that really to the crowd of probably about 50 to 100 residents of Portsmouth, as well as a crowd of reporters. Again, the police chief did answer questions after the news conference. We're going to have a lot more from him coming up tonight on Wavy News 10 at 4, 5, and 6. This really, they pinned this as a crime reversal press conference. The mayor saying it's the last year. We're finishing out the year, which was his reason for speaking today. He said when it comes to a crime reversal in the city of Portsmouth, Mayor Wright says this city needs to make a complete U-turn. We're going to have a lot more on this press conference coming up tonight, starting on Wavy News 10 at 4. You'll hear more from the police chief, and also you'll hear from a community activist who tried really hard to defend Mayor Wright, said he's a good guy, says he likes the city, but says in 2016 she wants to hear from him a lot more. We'll have that part of the story starting at 4. Live in Portsmouth, I'm Joe Fisher. 10 on your side.
Joe, thank you. A lot to keep an eye on later today. And this news conference, though, follows a protest last night that happened in front of City Hall. People there were demanding changes after concerns of violence and crime in the city of Portsmouth. This grassroots movement, had been aimed at Mayor Kenny Wright. People were saying he isn't properly addressing issues in the city, especially over the last year. And as you heard from Joe Fisher, we'll hear more about this coming up tonight on Wavy News 10, starting at 4.